What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update. We've got a bit of stuff to talk about. It's not going to be the longest update, I'll tell you that, but there are a few bits and pieces to talk about. And the Player of the Month, Premier League Player of the Month nominees are in. And as you can see on screen right now, Eric Dier has been nominated for Player of the Month alongside Marcus Alonso, Mikel Antonio, Said Benrahma, Damari Gray and Mason Greenwood. Do you think he deserves to be there for Player of the Month?
Well, it's a little bit of a surprise, wasn't it? But when you think about it, they've probably done that because we've had 3 clean sheets. So they're obviously looking at the back line, and then they're thinking who looks reasonably solid in there. And he hasn't really put a foot wrong, I guess, apart from that one moment against Wolves. So, you could say him or Sanchez, but it was a bit of a surprise when we saw that, wasn't it, earlier?
Yeah, I mean, I think he has had a good start to the season. First 3 games have been pretty solid from him. But I think if I was going to pick between the 2 centre-backs, I think Davinson Sanchez has been slightly better than Eric Dier.
In what way would you say?
I think he's been more aggressive. I think he's been more commanding, and he hasn't had one of those slip-ups like Eric Dier has had. And if we would have conceded that goal against Wolves, I keep saying it, then he probably wouldn't be up there, would he?
Personally, when I've watched the last 3 games, Dier's looked very, very composed, and Sanchez has been looking a lot more dynamic, but it's one of those where if he doesn't time it perfectly, he could give something away, which is like the problems we had with him last season. So I think as it's going, they're both looking all right. And Sanchez has obviously added a little bit more to his game with the passing range, seems to have improved a little bit. Yeah, I think they're going all right so far, aren't they? Both of them.
Do you think Dier's got a chance to win it, Player of the Month?
I don't know. It just feels too alien to say that, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it feels wrong.
But look, at the end of the day, you got to give credit where credit's due, because he's had a good first 3 games of the season, and I think that whether it be him or Sanchez, I think they deserve to be.
Who else from the first team would you say could have been nominated from the performances so far?
Potentially Hugo. Maybe not. I think probably them two. Them two have probably been a
I can't think of anyone else who's really, maybe Skip or Højbjerg, but Skip maybe, just because he's new and he's done really well. But yeah, I can't think of many standout performances.
All right, well, good luck to Eric Dier.
Well done, Eric.
He can bring home a trophy. Moving on, the Manager of the Month nominees are in, and Nuno Espirito Santo is up there with Rafa Benitez, David Moyes, Thomas Tuchel, and obviously Nuno Espirito Santo. Seeing as he is the only manager with an 100% record, I mean, he's definitely got a shout to win this one, doesn't he?
I think he probably will. Yeah, I think he probably will. It's flawless so far, isn't it?
What about Thomas Tuchel? Obviously, won their first 2 games. Second game away to Liverpool. They did look like the better side. I mean, they did have 10 men for the majority of the game as well, which is also a big result. Draw at Anfield with 10 men.
Yeah, definitely impressive. But I think when they look at it, they'll probably do it on a statistic basis of like the 9 points out of 3 games basis,
and none conceded as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think they probably will give it to Nuno. Yeah.
Do you reckon Jose Mourinho's looking at Nuno and this Spurs team being like, "How the hell are you getting Dier and Sanchez?
Yeah, how are you parking the bus? That was my game." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking, to be honest with you, because what we're seeing now is what I was expecting. Well, a lot of people were expecting from Jose last season, wasn't it? Like these very hard fought wins, like 1-0 scraping it over the line type thing. But actually, that's what we're seeing from Nuno. So, yeah, I don't know what he's thinking. Do you think he's feeling a little bit miffed or not?
Probably, to be honest. And Jose always takes everything a bit too personally.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So look, all right, that's the 2 nominations. The Spurs have a representatives in both nominations for Player of the Month and Manager of the Month. Let's move over to a bit of transfer news. Back to the transfer market, seeing as that was slammed shut a few days ago. But the first bit of news is about Frank Kessie of AC Milan. Calcio Mercato are saying that Tottenham are ready to offer Frank Kessie a contract with AC Milan midfielders contract set to expire at the end of the season. If Kessie's contract situation remains unchanged in January, clubs can contact him in January about a pre-contract. Fabio Paratici is ready to offer a contract worth 8 million a year, 8 million euros, that is, to bring the 24-year-old to N17, which equates to 134 grand a week for the midfielder. It was reported at the end of the transfer window that we did have an interest in him, and I was getting quite excited about it because he had an astonishing season for AC Milan in that centre of the park last season, and he is a top quality player. He said that he does want to stay stay at AC Milan for the rest of his career, but that contract has not been signed. So I guess it does leave the door a tiny bit open for Tottenham. I mean, do you know much about the player, and would you like to see him at Tottenham?
Not much, but I do think it would be good to have that position filled, whether it's him or someone else. I think that's the one missing thing that in our team at the moment, you know. So yeah, we need a few more additions, I think, you know, like, especially in that position.
And Frank Kessie is a top player, so I would welcome him with open arms, that's for sure. Let's move on to Emerson Royale, our new right back. The Athletic say that Emerson was disappointed at how quickly his time at Barcelona was cut short, but he is looking forward to the new challenge and was heartened by how much the Spurs hierarchy and head coach Nuno wanted him. But I don't know if you know about the whole story with Emerson Royale, but he literally signed a new contract, or basically signed for Barcelona a month ago, less than a month ago. He had this whole ceremony announcing him to Barcelona. The Barcelona president, Joan Laporta, said that we're slapping a 300 million release clause on him. We see him as the future of Barcelona, and we see him to be here for many, many years to come. Then obviously they've been hit with this whole financial constraints and everything, and Spurs got it over the line for around 30 million euros. So, I mean, he was posting on social media how it's a dream come true to play for Barcelona.
But now he gets to play for us.
So, look, how do you see this? I mean, he's a player who's obviously, his whole career, his whole life, it's been a dream to play for Barcelona. He grew up wearing the Barcelona kit and what have you. He signs for Barcelona. A month later, he's gone.
Yeah, I know. It must be a bit gutting, really.
Yeah, man. How do you think he's feeling about all that?
He's just got to get over it quickly, hasn't he? And just set his, ambitions with us. And I think he has come out and said he's really looking forward to the challenge. He maybe's got to reframe things and think, okay, I'm now going into the most exciting league in the world. He probably has to think. He has to reframe. Has he actually said that? Yeah.
He said he's joining the best league in the world.
Yeah. So that's the way he's got to think of it. Find new angles of ways of sort of appreciating the new life that he's going to have now. You know.
All right. Well, if that's how the Barcelona hierarchy were looking at him, surely we've got a top player on our hands.
Yeah, I mean, that bodes well, doesn't it? It sounds good. Sounds promising. Yeah. Sounds like we've got a lot of good, potential steals there and deals.
That's the thing. It's all about kind of putting that potential and making it like the here and the now, and getting it on the pitch and fulfilling their potential kind of thing. But let's move on and talk about fulfilling potentials. Kyle Walker-Peters, Mike McGrath of the Telegraph claimed today that Kyle Walker-Peters was actually on Tottenham's radar this summer before they pursued a deal for Emerson Royale. Would you have taken him back?
I don't think so. I don't know. I do. He's obviously better than Doherty, and we made a little bit of a mistake, there. But I still don't think he's top draw. He would have been okay as like a third string, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to like kind of go over old ground there with him.
It's interesting because he left Spurs without getting like a proper chance, didn't he? A week in, week out chance anyway. I mean, he came in as a bit part player here and there. Since he's joined Southampton, he's played pretty much week in, week out, and he's been probably one of the best right backs in the league, week in, week out. But still,
you always saw him as a championship player, didn't you?
I did, yeah. But I think he's gone to Southampton and he's proved me wrong.
Or is it just the fact he's in a team and he's just like a bigger fish in a smaller pool? Could
be like that. But he's definitely, I never thought that he could be a week in, week out player in the Premier League. And I think that he's proving me wrong for sure. Would I want him back? Probably not. I think we need to set our sights a bit higher than Kyle Walker-Peters. But like you say, I think we have made a mistake in kind of letting him go and bringing in Matt Doherty, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I actually think that he had a lot of good games at home when we were like dominating the ball. And I think at times there was a couple of games where he actually looked like the best player. But when he's like under the cosh, when he's on the back foot and people are running at him, then, he got a little bit exposed, I think. He's a little bit too lightweight. Yeah. But I think he's got the possibility to look good in games, definitely more so than Doherty, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the last bit of news we've got today is about Serge Aurier. Ekrem Konar, Turkish journalist, is saying that Serge Aurier has now been offered to Arsenal. Mikel Arteta has granted permission for the club to begin talks with the player. Obviously, him and Tottenham mutually agreed the termination of the contract on the last day of the window, about half an hour to go, which opened the door for him to join any club of his wishes for free. Arsenal are calling out for a bit of a right back. They've got rid of Bellerin now, last day of the window. They brought in Tomiyasu, but Tomiyasu is he's not a natural right back. He's like more of a, right-sided centre-back maybe, or a defensive right back. Serge Aurier is a bit of a different ilk, probably, which they need an attacking right back right now. If he was to join Arsenal, what would your feelings on him be?
Yeah, I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it. No, I mean, he can choose any other team, just not Arsenal. Please, please. I mean, I would get over it, but I wouldn't like to see it.
But maybe not me and you, but us as a fan base, us as a club, had kind of chased him out. He wanted to leave for many years. Would it matter?
Did we
too
chase
much?
him out though? I don't think we chased him out. I think a lot of the fans knew that he was our best right back.
Even so, though, people still wanted him out. Him being our best right back. People always wanted upgrades on him.
Do you know what? There was even times where people wanted Kyle Walker out. It's
True.
just like
True.
fans. You get fans like that. They just they'll hound on any player. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to see him at Arsenal. That would just be horrific to see.
Do you think he would personally, like himself, or would actually do it? Because I know this might be a bit different because he's like brought up in France and everything, but he played for a club called Lens in France, right? And Lille came in for him this summer, and he put up on his Instagram post pretty much saying that he'd never join there because he's a Lens player and they're big rivals in France. So do you think he's got that ties with Tottenham where he wouldn't join Arsenal?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it's so fresh, isn't it? He just played for us, and I would hope that he wouldn't just quickly move across to South London.
Would you call him a Judas?
Would I call him a Judas? Not in the same way, not in the same bracket, definitely not. But it would leave a really bad taste in my mouth. Would you?
I wouldn't call him a Judas. I think that his time at Tottenham was like mutually ending between the club and him. So I mean, it's hard to say like, oh, we don't want you here, but you can't join this club.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a little bit like maybe a Rowan Ricketts situation, something like that. Do you know what I mean? You can't really be too hard on him, but yeah, just please, any other club, Serge, please, and then you can bring the bromance back and do your FA, your FIFA games with Son still, and we'll let that happen.
Imagine him turning out for Arsenal, right, against us at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and then after the game, him going around hugging all the Tottenham players.
Oh, and they'd probably do it as well, wouldn't they? They'd be hugging him. Yeah, they probably would do that.
It just wouldn't sit right with me.
No, it wouldn't sit right. No.
He's too friendly with all the players in the squad. And apparently a report, I think, from Alistair Gold came out like yesterday was saying like how much he is actually loved within the Spurs squad. And a lot of the squad absolutely love the guy. So if he was to join Arsenal, wouldn't sit right with me.
Yeah, okay, so that's not happening, so we made the decision.
But on the flip side of that, I'm not actually sure how reliable this journalist is.
Okay,
so let's hope it's not too reliable.
Let's hope that's paper talk.
Yeah, but that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts regarding any of the news stories we have brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.